What's up guys? Welcome back to Toon, Duelists. You guys voted, you wanted to see a Magnet Warrior deck profile, and today you get your Magnet Warrior deck profile. Now I'm super excited to show this one to you guys because obviously the Magnet Warriors are one of those cards played by Yugi Muto in the original anime and fit his toy-like deck perfectly with all those little Magnet Warriors coming together to build Valkyrian the Magnet Warrior. Just amazing. Then of course it was also played by Bastion Misawa in the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX anime, where the focus is more on the scientific physician style of the deck, you know, because they're magnets.
Yeah, bitch! Magnets! Oh!
They had an update with the electromagnetic warriors, which were heavily necessary for this deck. And of course, we also have some support coming up in Conduction Warrior Linear Magnum, which will help you to fill up your grave even faster and might even make it possible you can bring out your Omni Negate turn 1. But of course, we'll have to wait for that. For now, I'm going to show you how you can build the best deck possible with the cards we already have, of course. I have to mention one thing though. In the picture of the vote, you might have seen the Fossil Fusions, and I have to say, in testing with this deck, I had to cut out the Fossil Fusion engine of this deck completely because it just wasn't worth it. But if you want to play the Fossil Fusion cards in this deck, let me know in the comments, and I will of course let you know what you can cut out to play those cards as well. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. Alright guys, as always, we start things off with the monsters, and the first one we're talking about is Delta the Magnet Warrior. One of the best Magnet Warriors out there, with the simple but powerful effect that if this card is normal or special summoned, you can send a level 4 or lower Magnet Warrior monster from your deck to the graveyard, and if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can banish 3 level 4 or lower Magnet Warrior monsters from your graveyard to special summon a Valkyrian from your hand or deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. Now this one is just awesome graveyard setup, which is so important for your big Magnet Warriors, and then of course a way to cheat out your Valkyrian, which is a method we rely on this deck. So this one is a definite 3-off right here. Next up is, in my opinion, by far the best Magnet Warrior, which is Epsilon right here. Just amazing one in my opinion, with the effect that if it is normal or special summoned, you can send a level 4 lower Magnet Warrior monster from your deck to the graveyard, and this card's name becomes the sent monster's name. Then you can special summon a Magnet Warrior or Magna Warrior from your graveyard with a different name than the cards you control. This card is just super powerful. It basically does the same that Delta does, but of course it extends even further. Just summon out another Magnet Warrior from your graveyard. The important part of this is also that sending is cost, so even if it gets impermed, you fill your grave, and the possibility to even bring out the Magna Warriors is also just super powerful right here, so a definite 3-off right here. Next up, we talk about the Electromagnet Warriors, and the first one we talk about is of course Alpha right here. In my opinion, the best looking Electromagnet Warrior, at least, with the effect that if it is normal or special summoned, you can add a level 8 Magna Warrior monster from your deck to your hand. And of course, as all Electromagnet Warriors, it has the effect that during your opponent's turn, you can tribute this card and special summon a level 4 Magnet Warrior monster from your deck. Now, this is just amazing searcher for your big Magnet Warriors, and of course the switching out is also very important. It doesn't come up all the time, but if you have an Electromagnet Warrior left on the field, it's just extending and setting up your grave. If only those effects would be able to activate during your own turn, this would be so awesome, but we have to work with what we got, of course. Then we also run 2 copies of Beta right here, with the on-summon effect that you can search any Magnet Warrior level 4 or lower, and of course the same second effect that all Electromagnet Warriors share. And you guessed it, we also run 2 copies of Gamma, of course, with the effect that if it is normal or special summoned, you can special summon a level 4 lower Magnet Warrior from your hand, so also great extender right here. You'll only need 2 of each of the Magnet Warriors, that's totally fine. And for the vanillas, we only run 1 copy of Beta the Magnet Warrior. In my opinion, the best looking vanilla Magnet Warrior. Don't forget to let me know what your favorite of the OG 3 Magnet Warriors is. In my opinion, Beta for the win. Then of course we also run the big ones. We run 1 copy of Valkyrian the Magna Warrior. The effect is honestly not even worth mentioning. We don't summon it with its own summoning condition, and we can't bring back the vanilla Magnet Warriors when it leaves the field. It's just here for a fusion summon and to be brought out with Delta, but with those stats it's actually a pretty nice body to put on the field even during your opponent's turn, possibly if Delta is sent. And we of course also run one copy of Berserkion the Electro Magna Warrior. This one is definitely the more useful of those two. That of course can be special summoned by banishing an Alpha, Beta and Gamma of the Electromagnet Warriors from your hand, graveyard or face-up monster zone. And then it also has the effect that you can banish a level 4 or lower Magnet Warrior monster from a graveyard to target a card your opponent controls and destroy it. And if this card is destroyed by battle, or if this card in its own possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can bring back all 3 Magnet Warriors from your banishment. So amazing card right here. The pop is actually also really useful to get rid of back row or anything annoying. Amazing one right here, and definitely one you have to run. Those two are of course basically bricks, so one of each is definitely all you want to play. Then of course we also run an interesting line that opens up for all the synchro plates we have, which is 3 copies of Adamantipator Researcher. Amazing card, and by far the best Adamantipator tuner right here, because it has the effect that if you control a rock monster except itself, you can special summon it from your hand, and during your main phase you can excavate the top 5 cards of your deck, and if you do, special summon an excavated level 4 or lower non-tuner rock monster, and you place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. Now I only run this one on 3 because the other 2 have just bad restrictions. You can't bring them out all the time. One of them is just a good going second, and the other one needs another Adamantipator monster to be special summoned. This one is such an easy condition right here. Trust me, Adamantipator Researcher is all you really need right here. And of course we end on hand traps. We run 3 copies of Ash Blossom right here. Also amazing hand trap. Then of course the most powerful one probably in the current game, we run 3 copies of Drollin Lockbird. Obviously we do. Then I also run 3 copies of Effect Veiler, only because I don't have Fuvalos. If you do, definitely replace it with Fuva. And then I also run 1 copy of Nibiru. 1 copy is all we need because we can search it out. And guys, that's it for the monsters. For the spells, we start things off with 3 Unexpected Die. Obviously, amazing card right here. If you control no monster, special summon a level 4 or lower vanilla monster from your deck, which is going to be a better, just an extender right here. Obviously, you could also play a Primite Engine right here with 3 Lordly Load, 3 Ether Barrel, and of course a Drill Beam. But the space is really tight in this deck. You need a lot of Magnet Warriors. You could cut some hand traps if you wanted to, but in my opinion, not the best idea. That's why I stuck with Unexpected Die. But definitely let me know what you think about this choice. Next up is, of course, also an amazing spell, which is called Magnet Induction. Amazing artwork with the OG Vanilla trio. And it has the effect that if you control a Magnet Warrior monster whose original level is 4 or lower, special summon a level 4 or lower Magnet Warrior monster from your deck with a different name than the cards you control. Also for the rest of this turn, after this card resolves, Magnet Warrior and Magna Warrior monsters you control can't be destroyed by battle or your opponent's card effects. Now, the last effect is not too important, but of course it's just an amazing extender, that's why it's here. But the second effect can come in handy if you combine it with the next card, which is the field spell of the Magnet Warriors, and it's called Magnetic Field. Also, pretty amazing card with the effect that if you control a level 4 or lower Earth Rock monster, you can target a level 4 or lower Magnet Warrior monster in your graveyard and special summon it. You can only use this once per turn, and also once per turn at the end of the damage step. When an Earth Rock monster you control battle an opponent's monster, but the opponent's monster was not destroyed by battle, you can return that monster to the hand. Now, not only an extender, which works perfectly with Epsilon and Delta, of course, but also a bounce during your opponent's turn. They often forget about this, so really a good card. And since we only run 3, I'm going to include the traps right here. We also run 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. And guys, that's it for the main deck. For the extra deck, we start things off with 1 copy of the boss monster of the Magnet Warriors, which is called Empyrean Magnum, the Superconductive Battlebot. Amazing name, and also an amazing card, which of course needs Valkyrion and Berserkion, must be fusion summoned with the above fusion materials, can't be special summoned by other ways, and has the effect that once per turn during either player's turn where your opponent activates a spell, trap card or monster effect, you can negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. Also, if this face-up card in its owner's control leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, you can special summon a Valkyrion and a Berserkion from your hand or deck, ignoring the summoning conditions. Now, obviously, the last effect doesn't bother us. If we use R2, they will be in the grave, so we can't special summon them out. But with 4,000 points, this is not only a huge beatstick, but also an Omni-Negate. The only downside is it's really hard to bring out. It actually happens in grind game at best, but an amazing card, and you should definitely run at least one in a decent Magnet Warrior deck, in my opinion. Next up, we talk about the Synchro lineup, and the first one we talk about is Naturia Beast. I can't stress enough how important this card is in the deck. It's your best negate, which you will most of the time also bring out. It needs an Earth Tuner and one or more non-Earth Tuner monsters, and has the effect that when a spell card is activated, quick effect, you can send the top 2 cards of your deck to the graveyard, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. And this card must be face up on the field to activate and to resolve this effect. No once per turn, not even once per chain. This card is just amazing, and it can win you duels solo. Don't believe me? Check this out. Definitely have to run this one. Amazing card right here. Next up in the Synchro lineup is, of course, your Hyper Psychic Riser. Now, if you're not able to go into Naturia Beast, which needs your Tuner obviously and an Electromagnet Warrior, you can go into this one with one of your level 4 Magnet Warriors, and it has the effect that monsters with less attack than this card can't attack. Also, neither player can activate the effects of face-up monsters on the field with more attack than this card. And if this card in your possession is destroyed by your opponent's card and sent to the graveyard, you can target a tuner and a non-tuner monster in your graveyard with the same type and attribute as each other and add them to your hand. So it's just also a nice block, a floodgate, and helps you survive another round, which is basically very important for this deck, obviously, because it has a decent grind game and it can go full board or full combo on turn 1. So this one is a great option for your Synchro 6 in this deck. For the level 8, we have Scarlight Red Dragon Archfiend right here. Now, it doesn't come up that often, but it has an amazing effect because once per turn you can destroy as many other special summoned effect monsters on the field possible with attack less than or equal to this card's, then inflict 500 damage to your opponent for each monster destroyed. So this is just a great going second option to get rid of opponent's field, or at least most of it. But yeah, as I said, doesn't come up that often, as well as the next one, which is your Psy Framelord Omega. Those are our level 8 options. If you don't know, Omega has the effect that once per turn during the main phase, quick effect, you can banish both this face-up card on the field and one random card your opponent's hand, face up until your next standby phase. And once per turn during your opponent's standby phase, you can target a banished card, return it to the graveyard. And if this card is in your graveyard, you can target another card in the graveyard, shuffle both that card and this card from the graveyard into the deck. Basically, it's a hand rip turn 1, so that's why I run those two. This is a turn 1 card, this is a going second card. If you have any other suggestions for the level 8s, definitely let me know. But as I said, they don't really come up that often, other than the next one, which is Trishula Dragon of the Ice Barrier. Amazing card right here. I guess you already know it. Just on Synchro Summon, banish a card from the field, from the graveyard, and from your hand of your opponent. Amazing going second card right here. And obviously we can also go into a Synchro 10 where we play Sword Soul Supreme Sovereign Cheng Ying. Also pretty amazing card with the effect that for each banished card it gains 100 attack and defense, and monsters your opponent controls lose 100 attack and defense, and if it would be destroyed by card effect, you can banish a card from a graveyard instead. and if a card is banished, you can banish a card each from both your opponent's field and graveyard. And since we banish a lot with this deck, it is a really powerful card right here. Next up is also a card you will play more often definitely, and one of your best Xyz plays, which is Gorgonic Guardian. Amazing card right here. Needs 2 level 3 rock type monsters and has the effect that once per turn during either player's turn you can detach a material from this card, target a face-up monster your opponent controls, and its attack becomes 0, and if it does, its effects are negated. Also, these effects last until the end of this turn, and once per turn you can target a monster on the field with 0 attack and destroy it. So this is amazing. Going first, of course, just a monster negate. Going second, you can not only negate but then also destroy. Just an amazing card right here. And obviously in a rock-based deck like this, we also run 1 copy of Gallant Granite with the amazing effect that you can detach a material and search a rock monster from your deck. This is basically all we're going to do with this one. And most of the time we're going to search our researcher, special summon it, and special summon again. So yeah, great card right here. I've been thinking about bumping this up to 2, but my other rank 4 option right here also seems important, which is number 41, Baguska. Because let's be honest, you won't always be able to go full board with Magnet Warriors, and Baguska is a nice way to stall and wait up for you to be able to go into more plays. For the link lineup, we start things off with 1 copy of Proxy F Magician. Only needs 2 effect monsters, pretty easy, and has the effect that during the main phase you can fusion summon a fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your field as fusion material. And also, if a fusion monster is fusion summoned to a zone this card points to, you can special summon a monster with 1000 or less attack from your hand. The last effect doesn't really come up that often, but of course it's just the way to fuse your Valkyrian and your Berserkian right here. So yeah, definitely need this one. Then we run a pretty basic lineup. We have 1 IP Masquerena right here. And what do you want to go into? You either go into SP for removal, or you go into your Gorgon. If you don't know about Gorgon, I'm gonna explain the effect real quick. It's not out that long. It only needs 2 or more effect monsters. You can summon or set monsters to a zone this card points to, and monsters this card points to can't attack. Also, their activated effects are negated, and this card gains attack equal to the total original attack of monster it points to, and also it can't be destroyed by battle or monster effects while it points to no monsters. So with IP, this is just a quick monster negate right here and puts your opponent under a little bit of pressure. And for the rank 4, I decided to go with Mekk-Knight Crusadia Avramax. If you don't know this by now, I'm going to explain real quick. It needs 2 monsters special summon from the extra deck, and while this link summon card is on the field, your opponent can target this card with card effects. Also, their monsters can target monsters for attacks except this one. Combined with IP, it's also not destroyable by card effects, which is pretty powerful. And once per battle during damage calculation, if this card battles a special summoned monster, quick effect, you can make this card gain attack equal to that opponent's monster attack during that damage calculation only. And if this link summoned card you control is sent to your graveyard by opponent's card, you can shuffle the card on the field to the deck. So basically, it's just a big beat stick, hard to get rid of, and that's the reason we run this card instead of Borsword Dragon, which I used to run before, but I think Crusadia Avramax is the better choice right here. And guys, that's it for the monsters. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, definitely leave a like and a subscription. This would really help us a lot. And of course, let me know what you think about this deck profile down in the comments. We always love to read and answer them. Then, if you want to see how this deck really performs, I'm as always going to upload a combo and test hand video to show you how you can really work with this deck. And this time I was also thinking about a new format where I show you some Nexus-Replays. So be excited, stay tuned for this one. Another reason why a subscription is definitely worth it, of course. And finally, I want to know which Magnet Warrior is your favorite. Let me know it down in the comments below. And until next time, have a good one.